Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to Allotment of the Dead. So, most of my poison plants I planted some time ago. So far, not many of them have come up. I've showed kind of a short of the henbane coming up. Nothing on the mandrake. I've had a couple of things come up on the datura. Brookmansis seems very, very slow, as does the rest of the datura. So I'm still hoping that they'll come up. But in the meantime, I've managed to find another one to plant. I've got some of the actual bitter nightshade, so that one's growing. I've got about 5 or 6 plants of those, so they're growing okay. And I've been toying with the idea of this one, whether or not I would actually kind of plant this one or not, because it's probably one of the most well-known poisonous plants. It's also probably one of the most toxic poisonous plants, but it is also something that I know in some places can get out of control. It's not something that I'm going to let get out of control. I'll be probably taking the berries off as soon as they are kind of growing, really, because I don't want really to have the berries around. I want to see what the flowers look like. I want to see what the plant looks like, and which is why I've bought this plant. So the plant in question is Atropa belladonna, so otherwise known as deadly nightshade. So again, this is probably the most well-known member of the Solanum species, even though we have tomatoes, chilies, aubergines, all of these other plants that we can eat. The Solanum family is full of plants that potentially can kill you. So I kind of bit the bullet on this one. There's not much more I'm going to be biting with this particular plant around, but I am intrigued. We did do a trip up to Alnwick, and this particular plant wasn't there when we went. So it was, again, it's going to be something quite interesting for me to see what this looks like. But you can look at the pictures, but it's never the same as actually having a variety, having that plant in front of you yourself. I know I'm a bit of a kind of crazy guy when it comes to these plants, because don't get me wrong, I know you've got to respect them. I know you have to kind of look at the risks involved, and I know I'm going to be keeping this one kind of well out of the way of anyone else, really. It'd be a good, nice bit of a piece to talk about in probably one of the polytunnels, or maybe kind of in a pot next to the poison gardens. Certainly won't be leaving this around for anyone to get hold of. Right, so Atropa belladonna, so deadly nightshade, is named after the Italian words for beautiful woman. The reason being that atropa, or atropine, that you can get from this plant is a pupil dilator. It actually relaxes the muscles in the eyes, and was thought to basically make women more attractive if they had big pupils in their eyes and kind of wide eyes. Not sure how true that is. That being said, anime characters always got massive eyes, don't they? So maybe there's a bit of logic behind it. I doubt it, though. The other symptoms of this particular plant in terms of poisoning, because it contains things like hyoscine as well, and scolopine. So again, these tropine alkaloids, that we've talked about in some of the other videos, they can cause hallucinations, gastrointestinal issues, convulsions, and eventually death. So, as like I say, something to treat with a little bit of respect. This is a plant that will be going down the plot. I'm not going to germinate it at home. It's going to literally spend its entire life from the minute I plant it to the minute it kind of hopefully gets to some largish plants down the plot in some pots. I've got plenty of pots. I've got plenty of compost, so I'm going to plant it down there. I'll put some pictures around throughout the video of to what this looks like and what the berries look like. So the berries are quite similar to other Solanum kind of berries, like the bittersweet nightshade, the also the one that you can eat, wonder berries. So these look quite similar to those as well. So again, I'm not sure I'll be eating anything in terms of Solanum species fruits, just to make sure that I haven't mislabeled anything. The other thing about when I'm planting these is that, or sowing these, I try and keep the ones that look quite similar apart in terms of when I'm sowing them, and also the germination. I don't want there to be any mix-ups on these particular plants. So now I've scared myself to death in terms of actually considering whether or not I should be planting this at all. I've managed to get the seeds from Nikki's Nurseries. As you would expect to get these sort of things from Nikki's Nurseries, is fantastic for the weird, unusual, and for the kind of the less kind of mainstream kind of vegetables and plants. This is grown as a medicinal plant as well, because of potentially the atropine and things you can get off this. But it can block things like nerve responses and things like that. So again, it's one of those things to really, really make sure that you're not eating around it, that you're not what's the word? No hand to mouth, none of that sort of thing. So I think you noticed at the start of this video, I kind of got an itchy nose and with the back of my hand. That's before I've opened this packet. I've opened this packet now. Nothing now. And that's the time when your nose starts itching more than anything. Right, so we'll get these particular seeds into the pot. I'm not going to touch these very much at all. In fact, I'm going to sprinkle them on. So what I've got is a little bit of this Jack's Magic. I haven't used seed compost for these. I've just gone straight with the Jack's Magic. And now I'm going to give them a light covering. I think most of these Solanum species, they don't need much in the way of a covering on top of them. Things like the henbane didn't need much at all. It's just a little bit of perlite on the top. So there we go. And then a little bit of water on the top. Just going to dribble this on. Just to get everything wet. And then this will be coming down the pot with me today. And into one of the, probably into the new build, just out of the way, just to let it go. Right, so Deadly Nightshade is now sown. Anyone got any other ideas of other poison plants that I could be growing? I know about lupins. Can't stand lupins. There's just something about lupins. I just don't like the colour and the shape and everything of the flower. Too uniform for me, I think. I like it somewhat with a bit more frill. So hence the delphiniums and things like that, which again aren't really coming up at the moment. So a little bit concerned on those, but we'll see how it goes over the time. So yeah, drop a comment in the comments if you've got any other ideas that I could grow for my toxic and poisonous garden. Anything will be considered, except I won't be planting hemlock or water hemlock. I also will not be planting hogwort. Hogwort? God, I went all Harry Potter there. I won't be planting giant hogweed because, again, that's horrible, horrible stuff that just burns. So that's this for today. I'll get this down the plot pretty much straight after we finish this video now. And we'll get this safe. So all the best, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.